Hey, Daily Hopers, we are in Hebrews chapter 12, and I struggled at first to figure out exactly what we are supposed to dig deep into this morning with this chapter. I think a lot of us are familiar with running our race with perseverance and keeping our eyes locked on Jesus, which is the very first couple verses in this chapter. But then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Actually, Paul made it super simple in what he said. He said, and do not forget. And that's probably what you and I have forgotten. We have forgotten this amazing promise in the midst of our difficult circumstances. So I think it literally is the definition of a daily hope. Let's look together, chapter 12, verse 5. Remember, Paul was writing to new Jewish Christians because they were starting to experience difficult things, and he wanted to encourage them before they started turning back to their old ways and turning back to sin. So again, verse 5, chapter 12. And have you completely forgotten? Yes, I have. Lord, thank you for having Paul write it down. And have you completely forgotten this word of encouragement that addresses you as a father addresses his son? It says, my son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines the one he loves. The Lord disciplines the ones he loves and chastens everyone he accepts as a son. Enduring hardship as a discipline, God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? That's true, right? Moms and dads, you do it for a reason. You do it because you love your kids. You don't do it for fun. God disciplines us so that we can prevent ourselves from hurting ourselves or doing things that are not in his will. If God didn't care, he would leave us to our own devices. You don't discipline your kids because you enjoy it. You do it because you love them, because you know the best interests for them, and you know what's coming on the other side. Keep going down a couple more verses. Let's pick it up in 11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. I feel that, Paul. Yes, it is painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Literally right there at the beginning of the thing, it says, and have you completely forgotten this word of encouragement? Yes, me. How many of you are going through a season of discipline? How many of you have no idea why the Lord is far, or you feel like you're being rebuked by him? How many of you are going through such difficult circumstances? You're like, God, what is the point? That's the point. He loves you. You are a legitimate son or daughter of the Lord on high, because it says right here that God disciplines his children because he cares. The same way you were disciplined by your mom and dad. They had your best interests at heart. There is purpose in it. Remember when it just said in verse 11, we don't see the purpose in our pain when we are grieving, when we are mourning, when we're so frustrated, when we're so mad by our circumstances, when we are in the thick of it, it is so difficult to understand why. Hindsight's always 20/20, right? And you can look back and see where you were 5 months ago, 5 years ago, and you're like, yes, God, I see the purpose in that. That's why I went through that. Because you changed me. Because you made me more like you, God. Because I needed to shed off some ugliness, some old Krystal. Because I needed to surrender. So that's where we get our daily hope today. We might not understand why we're being disciplined. We might not see why we are in this difficult circumstance. But the hope comes from this. And it is how we literally pick one foot up and put it in front of the other. And even though times are difficult and we feel abandoned by the Lord, we take great comfort in knowing that we are going through this because we are a chosen son or daughter of Jesus Christ. And I am stoked on that. And that is how I will pick myself up and keep moving forward despite my difficult circumstances. And my friends, I encourage you to do the same. Despite your circumstances, let's go. Let's embrace this promise that we have completely forgotten. I love you, church fam. I'll see you soon.